In Russia, President Putin's order to call up another 300,000 soldiers is being met with widespread protests. Reports have circulated on social media of people with no military experience being drafted, along with others who are too old or people with disabilities. This report by our Russia editor Steve Rosenberg includes some distressing images.
At a military draft office near Moscow, the roll call begins. More Russians mobilised and on their way to fight in Ukraine. And left behind their loved ones. For many here, this war has suddenly become very real. But at this recruitment centre, the Russians we spoke to said they supported the draft. I'm in the mood to fight, says Dmitry, an HR manager. Since we've been drafted, we have to serve. This mother says the lads will run about a bit there. They'll lose a bit of weight. It'll be fine. Not everyone is so positive. In Siberia, a recruitment officer was shot and seriously wounded. The gunman reportedly incensed that his friend had been called up to fight. Across Russia, there's been a spate of attacks on enlistment officers. More than a dozen have been set on fire since Vladimir Putin announced the call-up. And this is the Russian Republic of Dagestan. Protests against mobilisation. A sign of the anger in Russia's poorer regions, populated by ethnic minority groups, where many feel they are being called up at a disproportionate rate. Meanwhile, Vladimir Putin was shown meeting the leader of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko, and demanding that the West respect Russia. Not a word about the protests. When the Kremlin says, your country needs you, some Russians are happy to answer President Putin's call. But clearly, many are not. And in some parts of the country, mobilisation is sparking social unrest and undermining trust in the authorities. Look at the queues leaving Russia. This is the land border with Georgia. Many Russian men of military age are trying to get out. But for their sons and husbands, a very different journey starts here.
If you see something, say something.